Yeah, so Andrew here is the founder of Cloudkii, and he also owns a HighLevel SaaS with almost 1,200 users. Andrew, if you could kind of jump right into exactly how you got started, like how did you start hearing about HighLevel? How did you kind of get into this?
Oh, very good. So, yeah, a little history. I was actually one of the founding support agents working with ClickFunnels with Russell Brunson over
Yeah,
there. And obviously, when HighLevel launched, there was a lot of buzz in the communities about how HighLevel is going to take over the industry, all that kind of thing. And then, roughly, I want to say about 3 years ago, one of my jobs, one of my duties working with the ClickFunnels team was to go into the HighLevel system, not just that one, but other ones as well, but HighLevel, find out what they were doing and see how we could borrow some things, hack, some of the
yeah.
things that people are using, some of the methods that they're operating it for the 2.0 launch for ClickFunnels, which was cool. That's how I got into it. That's how I was first introduced to the actual application itself, through the community of people that I talked to in ClickFunnels. They would always send me all kinds of crazy stuff saying, "Hey, look at this. This is the next ClickFunnels killer." It's like one of the most common things that you hear.
Yeah.
I don't agree that it's a ClickFunnels killer. It's a competitor in a sense, but it's not the same. They are different when it comes down to fundamental practices.
So,
But at the end of
so
the day, it's a pretty cool system.
yeah. So you heard about HighLevel while you were doing some CRM hacking, right? Going into the competition and stuff. Okay. But what exactly, like what at what point did you see like, okay, this is an awesome opportunity, selling SaaS is an opportunity, and like what was that decision process like for you to leave ClickFunnels and then start selling, HighLevel SaaS
Oh,
or
so
using it?
yeah, we developed a different system. We developed a system called Cloudkii, and Cloudkii is a licensing platform for a few
Mhm.
Chrome extensions and some other
Yeah.
applications that we've developed that are designed for marketers. And when we discovered HighLevel's APIs, what the capabilities were, that we just connected it to the HighLevel, or not the HighLevel, but the Cloudkii system, so that people could use their HighLevel accounts or even our HighLevel account to create their funnels, create their things, but more so importantly, to be able to create an offer, right? Because the offer is what matters. And at the end of the day, when you look at what people are putting out in the marketplace, what you need to do is you need a USP. So you need to be able to separate yourself from everybody else.
Yeah.
And the Cloudkey system allows you to do that by offering software as a lead magnet. We have 6 applications. We have another one coming off the assembly line here pretty soon that everybody has access through our reseller program to be able to offer for free as a lead magnet to get people onto their email list, get them into their communities, and then they have an opportunity to show them what to do next, right? We always teach our community to get the person to the next now what, right? And then you
Yeah.
provide them with that. So that's where it all came from. That's what the idea behind it was. It wasn't because we wanted to run a SaaS. In fact, I'm not really a big fan of SaaS now. We've got a lot of users, we've got the awards, we've got all the stuff that goes with that. But at the end of the day, we do our best to try and give our software away for free.
Now, when you said that you had first, started your interaction with HighLevel because you already had Cloudkey at the time, you had these different suite of Chrome extension products and stuff that you were using. You had somehow interacted with HighLevel's API. Are you talking about like when you would generate leads on ELMessenger or whatever? You'd be sending them over to HighLevel. Okay, cool. So you created the integration there, and then at some point did you realize that there was more value, and then it became more of like a spotlighted product for you guys, or what was that like moment of transition? Because obviously it started off as an
Cloudkey,
integration but then turned into something else.
right? Cloudkey was actually connected to Zapier, so that you can connect it. You have to have 10 apps that you connect it to.
Mhm.
So through Zapier, we have it connected to PayPal, to ClickFunnels, to Kartra, to all the top leading systems that people will be using to be able to activate some software for their
Yeah.
clients. And when we were going through the onboarding process with HighLevel, just to see how they were doing it, we got exposed to the API and the ability to offer it without an affiliate link. Right. That was really important because it made it an all-in-one system. So instead of having a vehicle with no fuel and no map, now you have a vehicle. We give you the fuel, which is your traffic, right? Traffic's the most
Okay.
important thing. Eyeballs. ELMessenger Pro is a tool to help you generate traffic from social media. It's really good at it. And so the system itself lended it a very easy kind of marriage, I guess you'd want to call it, with the opportunity stages, with the way you can turn your personal Facebook profile messenger into a sales pipeline, and then move those people through the opportunity stages, through your campaigns, through your workflows,
Yep.
by just changing the tag in your messenger, right? It gives you a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of other connections as well. So our engagement tools and our calendars and all those kinds of things are all managed directly from within a person's Facebook Messenger, whether it's you or your team that's doing it. That's a really, really important source of traffic, and to be able to grow your systems organically. We give all of our resellers, everybody who uses our system has an opportunity of being able to offer the software for free. And this is actually the key to what we did. That's how we got to the roughly 1,300 users that we have currently. But the software itself actually has links inside of it for people, because if a person gets the extension, they still need the CRM. If they don't have one, which a lot of people do, but if they don't yet, then it just makes for that sense for them to be able to set up and get set up with the actual software itself through HighLevel, whether they have their own HighLevel account or through our account. Because then once that happens, they have an opportunity of being able to manage their entire business all from one platform, all in one. There's a lot of all in one advertising out there. But
yeah, it's the most major like way of advertising a HighLevel SaaS. After like hacking a ton of different people, they all advertise it as an all-in-one.
And it's not, because it's missing two pieces. Number one is your traffic, where you get the traffic from, right? And everybody has their ideas on how to get traffic. It's really easy. Traffic's everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's just you got to make sure that you have the right audiences and those kinds of things. So,
right.
Very, very simple, very easy. And in our opinion, we charge $97 a month for our HighLevel account. And it's full featured. And then we give everybody GroupKey, we give them ELMessenger Pro in it. So what we tell everybody is you're losing money if you don't purchase it through Cloudkii, because we give you the same price as direct, and we give you the other pieces, which is your traffic piece. When it comes to your offer, that's the other piece that matters. Your offer is more important than the actual vehicle that you're driving in. But the offer itself, we are highly involved in teaching people how to use Expert Secrets as a guide. A lot of people, Expert Secrets is Russell's book. So a lot of people, when they get that book, they'll skim through it, they'll listen to the audio version, but they don't necessarily understand what the message really is. So what we always recommend is they read the book, go do what it says using the system, then come back and read it again. Because when you read it again and you're coming at it from a position of experience, it's a different book. Like you get so much more out of it the second time through, after you've already gone and applied some of the knowledge you learned additional in the first run. And now you're starting to understand how all the inner workings of all this works. The vehicles, it could be anything. Doesn't matter if it's HighLevel, our Cloudkii version of it, ClickFunnels 1.0, 2.0, Kartra, GrooveFunnels. It doesn't matter what it is. Your offer and your traffic are what matter the most, right? And that's what.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a few things that I'd like to discuss. So the biggest thing I think is kind of discussing your funnel structure a little bit. You have a few different entry points, right? So one entry point is they can come in through the whole ELMessenger system that you're talking about, using ELMessenger and reselling it and all that, and then that inevitably leads to some kind of upsell where they're getting HighLevel, right? But then there's also another entrance point where you start off with HighLevel.
Correct.
Okay. And so I know, so they sign up on some kind of trial or something along those lines, and then they have the opportunity of being upsold into a monthly, which is the 97 that you were talking about.
Right.
Is there a path for the people who sign up through this, the free trial process, for them to get ELMessenger? Are you retargeting them with emails at some point, or how exactly?
It's immediate. So as soon as anybody gets into the system, the first thing that we want to do is we want to help them get their system set up for success. There's three things that are very important for a person to have, which will increase their stickiness inside of your SaaS. Number one is they need to have a logo, right? It's not necessarily a logo, but a business name. Mm-hmm. So the logo is kind of important, but the name itself is more important. That's your domain name, right? You're open for business once you have your domain name set up. You need to be able to take a payment, and you need to be able to send an email. So those are the three things that we help them get set up with through our campaigns. Now, one of the, like you'd mentioned, there's a free trial. We have a 7-day free trial, no credit card required, on every app that we've got. They get the premium features. Now, every app that we got also has a free tier as well. So if you're not on a paid plan or whatever, you still get to use some of the features free of charge. And that the whole goal of that is to help meet people where they're at, because not everybody is ready to go out into the marketplace and bring their own offer. Sometimes they need to figure out what they want to offer. So we give them the tools to be able to kind of build an audience, see what the audience is looking for, and then be able to get the attention. So every app has that. So at the end of the 7-day period, if a person chooses that they don't want to invest in the actual application full features itself, they get moved to a basic version of whatever application it is. So a Messenger Pro, a Group Friender, and they get 3 tags: cold lead, warm lead, hot lead. It's enough to be able to go out in the marketplace and start building an audience, which is the first step everybody needs to take. A lot of people don't have an audience yet, so they get the vehicle. They're a little premature. They're like a 14-year-old with a driver's license and a car, or a car and no driver's license, right? So they're not really ready. So we want to make sure that they do is they go through all that personal development. We have a 9-step system that we push everybody to go through, starting with personal development in their niche. It helps them understand the language, and it also helps them understand the problems. So once they understand the problems and they understand the language, having conversations with people becomes very natural. Then our second step is just showing up to your business. That's the most.
Is this 9-step process a part of the onboarding sequence or any of your different softwares? There's some kind of course that's coming along with it.
That is correct. So we have a school community, if you're familiar with school.
Yes.
Sam Oven's system. Inside of there, we call it Cloudkii U. And that's what walks them through setting up the entire system from start to finish, showing them how to target people, showing them how to find the right groups, because the groups that you're targeting, specifically on Facebook, we have other social media strategies as well, but Facebook specifically, the group that you're targeting is really, really important. You don't want to be in free groups. You want to be in groups that that the people that are in that group paid something to be there. And we show you how to do all that. We show you how to find them. Facebook groups are free, but they're technically not all free. So we show you how to do that. We show you how to get people to respond back to you, which is not as straightforward as a lot of people think it is. We don't teach people to spam. Obviously, it never works. But we teach people how to make a connection with a person. And that's really what the system's all about on the back end. So once you get into it, whatever door you came through, you then begin to get exposed to the entire ecosystem. We get on calls very frequently with people who've gone through the process. They've learned a little bit more than what they've seen on the landing pages or what they saw on a Facebook post or whatever the case might be. And they always tell me that there's so much more here I would never have known had I not gone through this. And which is obvious, right? Everything's like that. What you see superficially is not really what it's all about, that iceberg effect, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing is, so you said a second ago that, one of the most important things when getting an account set up is to make sure that they get their logo on there, right? And also attach a domain. Is that something that's covered within this course, or is that something that's done manually on an onboarding call, or can you just, provide some context?
Both. Okay, so we have one of our account managers goes live every day, Monday through Friday, twice a day, with what we call open office hours, where people can just log in, ask any question that they have about setting something up. Yeah. The school community actually has a step-by-step process. We use videos, timestamps. We even show some of the common errors that people make when they're getting these things set up, so that they don't end up with that result. And if they do, we show them how to fix it in the training. It's just like a natural process of going through and setting up like a domain, for example, an SMTP server if they need that, or they can use our built-in lead connector system. But most people go with the built-in system instead of having to set up the third party.
I think it makes a lot of sense. It sounds like you guys have really spent a lot of time kind of developing this course to make sure that everyone who's using your platforms are successful. And I think that that's something that definitely can be a very valuable takeaway for anyone who's watching. Is you can give them the platform, you can teach them the platform, but if they don't know exactly how to use the platform in order to get results, then it's really they're not going to value the platform. They're not going to actually be using it, and then they're just going to churn.
Correct.
Right. And so another cool thing that I think this whole kind of like 9-step process that you're talking about does, at least to my understanding, right, is that they may come in on just using HighLevel, right? But then when you're talking to them about, hey, this is how you find the correct groups with this, and this is how you prospect using this tool, then it's also an upsell mechanism, right?
Right.
So for those who are watching, one thing that you can do is, if you have multiple elements of your offer, right? If you construct some kind of, tutorial series or, 9-step process, something along those lines, you can kind of show off these other elements of the offer that are upsells, right? And then use that to kind of, to start, moving your clients up the value ladder.
Correct.
So that's a really cool idea. Now, let's talk about support for a second, because we've talked about onboarding. Well, actually, let's talk a little bit more about onboarding. So we've said that there's a course, there's and there's open office hours. Are there any is there any kind of one-on-one calls that are happening?
Yes. So every other Saturday we go live with an over-the-shoulder training where we train a specific thing, and then the people that are attending have an opportunity of asking whatever questions they have, and then we show them how to do that. We don't have support agents on our team, but we have our account managers. So every person gets their own account manager, and that account manager is responsible for making sure their account is set up, making sure that they answer any questions that they have. They'll get on one-on-one calls with them and help them with specific things related to their account, not related to strategy or anything like that, but related to the technical aspects of their accounts. The account managers are different from a support agent because, in my experience, support is all about deflection, trying to get them over here, trying to get them over there, just get them away from us. Whereas an account manager is directly paid from the accounts that they have in their pool of accounts. And we've discovered that an account manager can handle about 500 accounts. So for every 500 accounts you have, you get one account manager. That person's job for the first 3 months of that person's account is to make sure that they're following steps, following the system.
So you're saying that they are earning some kind of commission from,
yes.
Okay. So then they're incentivized to provide great support.
That is correct.
Wow. That is a freaking nugget right there. That is awesome. That's a great idea. Because then, all the incentive systems are aligned for them to do the best job possible, right?
Yeah.
Are you offering them some level of base pay, or is it 100%?
Yes. So they get $2,000 a month each, plus they get the percentage on the continuity.
Okay. That is very, very cool. And okay, so we've talked about onboarding. Now we've even breached a little bit into support. Now, when it comes to let's talk a second. Let's talk a little bit about Cloudkii, right? Because high level is really awesome. I feel like we can exhaust those topics pretty fast. There's a whole lot more stuff to talk about when it comes to the development stuff. How did you get started with Cloudkii?
Okay, so a long time ago, I've been in this space for a long time. Network marketing is where I first started the entrepreneurial journey, like a lot of us do. And I was in a system called GVO. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. Joel Tarian owns the system. Anybody who knows the ClickFunnels story knows that Russell had a Ferrari. He won that Ferrari in a contest with Joel. Okay, so that is where I was first exposed to systems. Okay, now systems are what work. Okay, platforms are not what work, but systems do. So in GVO, Joel Tarian had some training. I can't remember what it was called, but I was going through and he was talking about looking at the people on the leaderboard for GVO. And number 1 was Russell Brunson. Number 2 was Deegan Smith. Number 3 was Stone Evans. Okay. I don't remember what Stone's system was. It was something to do with blogging. This was like 11, 12 years ago. So it's and number 1 being Russell Brunson, he had .com secrets. Now, if anybody is familiar with .com secrets was a ClickBank product. It was $97 a month, and they paid a 50% recurring commission to the affiliates who sold it. Now, when you go through it, there is a recommended hosting platform. So GVO's Global Virtual Opportunities, they have Meet Cheap. They have all these crazy things for $10 a month. Like, it's crazy what you get for $10 a month at GVO. So in there, they had the recommended hosting, which was GVO. So what I did was open up a support ticket immediately after purchasing the product and asked them if I had the ability to put my own affiliate link in that GVO thing. And the person who replied back to me, who I later started working with, she said no. So I immediately canceled my account. Then I went into Deegan Smith's system. I bought the system, went through it, started going through the training. And his was maximum leverage, which is about creating a system for email marketing, teaching people how to build email lists, and then putting in your own links for your autoresponders, like GetResponse, Aweber, those kind of things. So these systems are what Joel Tarian was telling everybody to start promoting instead of systems directly. So what we did is we went out and we were promoting a company called GDI at the time. And that product we created, it had a WordPress component to it, and WordPress has multi-sites. So what we did with WordPress multi-sites, we used InstaSuite. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's an old WordPress plugin that allowed you to build sales funnels. Like Optimize Press, but different.
Okay.
So it gave us, we had an agency license with that, which allowed us to be able to install it on other people's WordPress installs. The multi-site allowed us to be able to create a duplicate on our own hosting, which basically just made a sales funnel system. That's what it did. And so we've got, I don't know if you've ever seen those promotional pens. Oh, this is right on, but have you ever seen pens that like have like logos?
Yeah.
They have ones with flashlights. Get a little flashlight on the end,
Yeah.
of it, like a little LED light.
Yes, I see that.
We got one of those to create a free sales funnel at viralleadmag.net. So our system was called Viral Lead Magnet. And we thought it was really brilliant because we printed on the side of a pen. We would go to network marketing events and stand at the registration counter. And when we would stand at the registration counter, we would just stand there. And when people come up, we'd flash it. We look, like, and they look, and whenever they look, we go like this. We just say, "Want one?" And they would either say no and walk away, or they say yes and come up and grab the pen. Now, when they came up and grabbed the pen, we did the thing where you don't let go, right? They grab, try to throw you, like, "No, come here," right? You pull up, hey, do you use a sales funnel for your business? And nobody really knew what that meant. Right.
Yeah.
So we gave them the pens, and we thought that those pens, if you take a look at society, right, there's two things in society that everybody's okay with stealing from everybody else. Nobody has a problem when they do it all the time. Okay. Banks tie their pens to counters for this reason, because people steal pens. Okay. It's not really, you don't do it on purpose. It's just like a thing. You're holding it and it just kind of happens. The same thing with lighters, right? People steal lighters all the time. I don't smoke and I don't do any of that stuff, so I didn't think lighters are a good idea, but pens seem like a good idea. They'll lay around, they'll sit on chairs, they'll sit at all kinds of places all over the place. So we started giving away these pens like crazy. It started working. We started getting people going through the viral. It was free. The whole system was free. There was an Aweber affiliate link for them to be able to do the email marketing. And then there was Mobe. I don't know if you're familiar with Mobe, but it's a high ticket affiliate program that we had in the back that taught people how to do internet marketing. And it had upwards of $50,000 products that they could purchase, and we would get a 50% commission. So we were doing really well with that.
Yeah.
And then one day I saw the McDonald's video on Facebook. And that McDonald's video was from ClickFunnels, where it was, "Russell, did you know that it cost McDonald's to get you to the back? When they upsell you fries and a Coke, no important do they make, but they keep." And then I said, "Oh, great, Russell's getting into the sales funnel game. It's over." I remember I was sitting at a little trailer in northern Nevada, because that's where I lived at the time. And it was in my office in my house. It was like the size of a closet. I was sitting at my computer and I went like this: "Oh, great, Russell's getting into the sales funnel game." Right. So I went, I had immediately purchased a free trial of the ClickFunnels program. It was it was $37 a month at the time. And I went and I set up my Aweber account, which I already had. I put a little, what's called a bridge funnel. It's just a simple opt-in form with a video. Okay. Now that video was a Mobe video. It was a gentleman by the name of Myron. He was 78 years old. He made $50,000 the first month. He ate awesome much video. So what we did is I went and bought a solo ad. It was $300. I got 300 clicks for $300, and I sent them to the page. Didn't get a single lead on my Aweber list, not one. And I know that's mathematically impossible. Okay, so I could have at least got 1 out of 300 to give me an email address, but it didn't. So I opened up a support ticket, and I never got a response back. So we were back to support. About a week later, I received an email from Russell. He didn't email me personally. He just sent an email to his list. And when he sent that email, it said, "Hey, ClickFunnels is hiring." And I opened it up and it said, "We're looking for Ruby developers," which is what the application was built on. I'm not that. I didn't even know what that meant. So I was reading further down the email and said, "We're also looking for Rockstar support agents because we need help and support." And I remember thinking, I spent $300 on a solo ad. I don't have any leads. Nobody talked to me. Nobody told me why. And so I was like, I'm thinking, you do. But then he had this little blurb underneath that really got to me. "If you feel you'd be a good fit to work with our team, let me know." So I just turned my camera on. I did turn the camera on. I started talking to my camera, and I told the story about Barnes from Think and Grow Rich. If you're familiar with Barnes, the very first story in Think and Grow Rich is Edison and Barnes. A little story about how Barnes wanted to go work with Edison. He didn't want to work for, he wanted to work with, he wanted to be a partner. I told him that story, and I was laughing at myself in the video because I was applying for a job. I don't want a job. I don't want to work for you. I want to work with you. And so as a result of that, Russell emailed me back, said it was a great video. I still to this day can't believe that he thought that was a great video, but awesome. But about 8 years into that, we learned a whole mess of stuff on how to build all this up. So that's where it actually came from. It was system after system after system after system, and ultimately leading to Cloudkii. Cloudkii is a culmination of all the systems we had built up to this point.
Okay, so Cloudkii, what was Cloudkey's first product?
ELMessenger Pro.
Almaster Pro. And when did you launch that? Did you launch that while you were still working at ClickFunnels?
Correct. Correct. It was almost 3 years ago. So September 2022, 21.
Now, did you develop it yourself? Did you hire developers? How did that work?
Okay, so yeah, I'm not that good. So I pay people
Okay.
to do stuff for me that I can't do.
Yes.
I understand code enough to know when I'm talking to somebody that this is the person I want to hire,
Yeah.
but it's way above my pay grade right now. I have no idea how that even works anymore.
All right. So you first started, obviously, you're still working at ClickFunnels. How are you getting how are you selling ELMessenger? Are you using ELMessenger to sell ELMessenger?
Yes.
What's that process look like?
We built ELMessenger Pro for us to use to build traffic organically to prove the point that it would work. Once we started doing it, that's how we met literally every single person in the system. We've never run any paid ads, never done any real JVs. The JVs all came from people who were users of the application. We push that button. In fact, we've got mouse pads that the tagline on it is push that button, because we've got numerous stories of people when they say they push the button and they got a client for 8,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. They're like, this is what's happening. Yeah. And the reason is because the system that we teach you to follow is proven. We know it works. Yeah. So now we just perpetuate that. The software itself is designed to help you solve two problems. Okay, the two problems are, if you look at Russell's books, and I'm trying to promote ClickFunnels or anything, but look at Russell's books. He has three specific books, right? .com Secrets, which is about the vehicle. It's usually more so geared toward ClickFunnels, but the vehicle is the vehicle regardless. Right. The Expert Secrets, which tells you that you have the ability to sell your knowledge, right? Your knowledge is the most important thing that you have.
Brand too, yeah.
Exactly. You create a brand around that. You create your frameworks, you create all this stuff, and this is what you provide as your offer. Your offer is much more important than anything else. Then you have Traffic Secrets. All three of these books combined solve all three of the problems we discovered while we were going through that churning interview process for a long time. When I was going through that process, and more so to build the software, I wanted to be a project manager. Okay, at ClickFunnels. That was what I was looking at as career goal wise, all that kind of thing. And again, just like with HighLevel, all the other stuff like I shared earlier, I don't think I should know anything conceptually. I don't want to read a book and say I know it, because I don't. Okay, so what I do is I go out, I put my money where my mouth is, I do it myself. I learn how to do it. I learn what I didn't like. I learn what I do like. I learn what hurt me. I learn what didn't hurt me. And then we bring that back to the table with knowledge, experience. And in my opinion, a person with experience beats a person with education every day. So that's why we did it that way.
Okay, cool. So now you have actually gotten to the point, obviously high level stuff, but you have other products that are associated with Cloudkii as well. I know one is ELMlink or ELLink, or I forget. Is it ELMlink?
It's ELMlink.
Okay, ELMlink. Yep. Okay. And do you have any other products?
We do. So ELMlink is like Linktree. We have an AI in there now, and it breaks pictures and all that kind of stuff for people who are interested in that kind of thing. It has a lot more features than what Linktree would. It was originally just supposed to be just a social media link, so you could put your offers inside your social media profiles. But now it's like a micro funnel builder, all kinds of crazy stuff going inside of that. We have Elmatic. Okay, so Elmatic is it's like use proof. So if you've ever seen those little pop-ups pop up on the bottom corner of your screen, tell you, hey, so-and-so just bought, so-and-so just bought.
Yes.
It does that. It's a FOMO tool, but it also has 27 other different pop-ups. So you can put like cookie policies, all those kinds of things that you can use with that.
Okay, so it's like a widget kind of builder type thing.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Then we have Elm Optimizer. We call it Elm. It's like Hotjar. So it creates the heat maps for your pages, so that if you're trying to build an agency or whatever you're trying to do, you're trying to figure out why people aren't taking the action you want on your page, you'll know sort of based off of where people are hovering their mouse and whatnot. It also records your screen, the screens of the visitors on your page. So that's what it does. A really good tool for people who are running agencies, people who are running ads, because it helps you optimize mostly. The reason why we were really excited about getting it in here is because when another hat at ClickFunnels, I ran an agency just to teach people how to run agencies. And one of the things that we didn't like in the agency were chargebacks. And we discovered if we can send a video of the person going through the buying process to the credit cards, we win a lot more chargebacks.
Oh, nice.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So that's actually why we were excited about that. We also have the Cloudkii CRM, which is just HighLevel, real inventive name. Cloudkii CRM. We don't tell it, we don't hide it. It's HighLevel. We tell everybody, even in our documents, it's powered by HighLevel. If you want to go get a HighLevel account, you're welcome to do that.
Sure.
So we have Elmatic Optimizer. GroupKey. GroupKey is an application we built for groups specifically, because we ended up having with
Convert or something along those lines.
Kind of. Group Convert's a little bit more advanced than GroupKey. If you look at, no, Group Convert, I think was it? No, okay, so it's Group Leads. So it's more like Group Leads, if you're familiar with Group Leads. Group Convert's got a lot of stuff in it, like tags and things like that, where we use Almaster Pro for the tags. And GroupKey was it automatically lets people in your group. It will send them a welcome message, which Almaster Pro will simultaneously tag them right when it does that. It will send the information into. We've got APIs with Aweber, GetResponse, HighLevel, all the top autoresponder platforms. We're adding more all the time. So that'll move that information over there, as well as the questions. It'll also put them onto a spreadsheet, so you can zap them anywhere you want to go if you wanted to do that. It gives you that ability. It also tags the individuals in a post in the group. So number one, you're messaging them. Number two, you're tagging them in the group. And number three, you're adding them to your campaigns inside the CRM. So that's what it does. It's just a tool to kind of help you save some time there, so that you can, again, focus on what matters the most, which is building that relationship with the people you're going to be doing business with.
Now, so obviously you have quite a variety of products here. And some of them are related, such as the ELMessenger and then the Elm group or whatever. But the things like the widget and the Hotjar are a little bit less, like they don't fit in as much as those to do together. Is there a particular product strategy that you're following right now as you're developing products?
Yes.
Is there like a philosophy that's guiding it? And if so, what is that?
Yes. The goal is to provide people with tools that marketers are going to need, that are going to give them an edge. So for example, the tool itself is something that each tool has 3 tiers: a free tier, a pro premium tier, which is the most common for average usage, and then a legacy tier, which is basically an unlimited account for everything. As a person who's an affiliate, as a person who's a coach, if you're a network marketer, if you're doing any of these types of business models, you need traffic. That's what you need. That's the most important thing. Facebook just happens to be one of the best places I've ever gotten traffic from, besides Twitter. And so the traffic from Facebook is really easy to target. When we have a Facebook group and we have our own personal profiles become like a billboard, right? That's what we're doing with it. We're advertising what it is we're doing. We're sharing our knowledge. We're basically teaching people for free, essentially, is what we do on our Facebook profile. Then we invite them to our group community, where that's where we make all of our offers. All of this is a social media funnel, which we give you a couple things that most people who are teaching these processes don't. We give you the software to actually manage the mundane tasks, so that you can focus on the important ones.
Okay, gotcha. And so, you said that you early on, when it came to ELMessenger, which is Cloudkii's first product, that you were using it to provide its own traffic, which is a good idea. The super meta, you know what I mean? But are you still only using ELMessenger and cold outreach to generate traffic? Are you doing anything else? Are you doing affiliate webinars or webinars, or are you doing paid ads of any sort?
There are no paid ads running. We do live training. We do webinars. We do those once a quarter, and there's usually one offer per quarter that gives some people some additional tools, some additional resources, some free time on their accounts, things like that. Everything, the entire system up to this point, we're just about to cross the $1 million mark, was done 100% organically with little outreach messages by pushing a button on the software we built.
Okay. Do you think that at any point you'll start using paid ads?
We're going to now, because we've reached a plateau. We're at the point now where we cannot get it higher.
Got it.
We just can't. So now we're going to be running paid ads, which is the reason why we have a new app that's going to be coming out tomorrow. I should have it, which is called Cloudkii, which is going to be for prompting ChatGPT.
Okay, cool. So is it kind of like AI PRM or whatever it's called, or
almost identical, with the exception of there ain't 10,000 prompts that don't make any dang sense in it. It's going to be ours. We're going to control it. We're going to use a lot of expert secret scripts, our 9-step system. We're going to have it prompt the email content for the applications that we have. So we have affiliates that like keep asking us for emails and things like that. And we have a lot of emails, but they always ask us for more. So the prompts are going to be able to help them create those emails without having to ask for them. And that's the idea behind it. And that's the one that we're going to start running ads to.
Sure.
I've been very reluctant to run ads because ELMessenger Pro is to get traffic without ads. So it's the cognitive disconnect there for people.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that to happen. So that's what we're doing.
Okay. Let's see if there's any other like really cool and insightful questions that I can think of. How big is your team right now?
Oh, wow. So our internal team, my wife and I are the ones that are, we do the day-to-day stuff. We have one person on the sales team. We have a project manager. We have 5 developers under the project manager. And then we have I guess he's not really a project manager, but he helps manage the building of the applications, but does more bug related stuff. So he gets on live calls with people who are having problems with the applications, helps identify why it's not working on their particular instance of Facebook, gets it fixed, pushes that to the project manager for pushing it out. So we have 12 or 13 people right now.
Are you at all afraid that how risky is using ELMessenger? Like, how likely am I to get my freaking Facebook account like banned off the face?
If you're using your Facebook profile for business, you're violating the terms of service. So ELMessenger Pro is no different. The only thing that it's going to do is it's going to automate the mundane tasks. You're not supposed to do it. We flirt with the gray lines all the time. Facebook does not like what we do because it eliminates the need to run ads, like completely eliminates it. You don't need to. If you have a big enough team of people that you have running ELMessenger Pro accounts, like VAs and things like that, you don't ever need to run ads. You just scale up your VAs. And your VAs will make better connections than your ads will. Ads are just more scalable with money. You just throw money at it. A human being is not scalable. You can get them more productive, but you cannot scale up the amount of time they can put in because they're limited. You get what I'm saying? Yes. So there's a lot of different approaches to that, I guess. But
as you are scaling, one thing I've heard when it comes to like cold outreach, one thing that I've heard is like, oh, you can buy more Facebook accounts. How are you kind of scaling the accounts that are using it? Because one thing when I have personally purchased like, accounts to start running ELM on or something like that, I find that those accounts that I purchase end up getting banned a lot faster than like my actual account does.
Yeah.
While simultaneously it's like, well, if I lose my main account, then that's like a real asset that I'll lose for real.
Right.
So what's like your recommendation when it comes to that?
So I lost my original Facebook account. I did not lose it because of ELMessenger Pro. I lost it because of the ads manager, and somebody hacked into my account, and they've been in there for almost 2.5 years now, acting like me, and Facebook keeping me locked out for my protection. And so the account I currently have was built 100% entirely with ELMessenger Pro. I've never had a problem. I got flagged one time, and that was because I was running a version of the software that was being tested, and it did a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. But I got flagged once. I've never had an issue. So what we always recommend is we stay within the guidelines. So we don't recommend a number of outreach messages every day. We recommend a number of conversations that you have. Everybody's personal Facebook profile is like gauged based off their activity. So if all of a sudden you just start sending a bunch of messages, it's going to flag your account. If you have automations where you're not using, so ELMessenger Pro has a built-in segmenting system to where it creates the same message in multiple variations.
Yeah, like an intax type deal.
Yeah, identical, the exact same thing. Yeah. So we always recommend 3x3x3, which gives you 27 different variations. And then when you're pushing the button in our 9-step system that we have, there's 2 things that you can do simultaneously. Okay, so the first one is your personal development. While the software is running, you just read your book, whatever it is that you want to do. So here's a 9-step system. Okay. Then when we want you to make 5 new connections with somebody you haven't had a conversation with the day before or in the past. And the way you do that is just by going into communities. I do it sporadically throughout the day, just push the button. If I'm going to go to lunch, I push the button. If I'm going to read my book, I push the button. If I'm not going to be in front of my computer, I push the button, and the software just runs. And while I'm out doing my thing, I'll come back. My phone will start going off when people are replying back. And then a lot of times, whenever they reply back, I'll just open up my messenger. I'll push the little voicey thing right there, and I'll talk to them.
Yep. Yep.
Because
Yep.
your
That's a good
voice is
idea.
very, very important. When they hear your voice, they eliminate a lot of those suspicions that they have about you being a real person or not.
Yeah.
So now we have we bridged a connection. So 5 of those every single day will yield you some pretty significant results over the course of 1 year.
Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Well, Andrew, this has been a really awesome conversation. I feel there's been a ton of golden nuggets that have been dropped throughout this conversation. I really am thankful for you hopping on and
Thank
kind
you
of
for
dropping
having me.
knowledge, man.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Amazing. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. And Andrew, let's hop on. I'm going to end this live and we can just chat for a few more minutes. Okay.
Sounds fair.
All right.